May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
Broadcast!
Will the real Weird Sisters please stand up? We're gonna have a problem here. We're the Weird Sisters, we're the real Weird Sisters. All you other Weird Sisters are fine, we're not the victors. Will the real Weird Sisters please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up.
Hello and welcome to the Real Weird Crossover Part 2. Or Episode 2? I don't know, it's our second one. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
I'm Shandy.
I'm Alice.
And I'm Martha.
Welcome to the show, everybody!
Yay!
Thanks. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Our second annual crossover episode.
Sequel.
Woohoo! I'm 100% less pregnant this year, so it's
Always a good sign.
That's right.
Always.
I forgot you were about to burst last year.
Yeah, it was our maternity podcast, but we recorded it maybe 2 or 3 weeks before we actually released it. But yeah, good time.
That one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I re-listened to it today and had some fond memories.
I mostly remember Colleen talking a lot about her time at the DMV.
I remember that for sure.
I kind of wanted to do a recut of it and cut out all that annoying stuff.
No, that's the best part.
No,
It
because
was
then I
super
got
funny.
to the Barney story and I was like, why did I keep that in there?
Blame it on the hormones.
But once you get past all that, it's a great show. And anyway, so for anybody who is keeping track or hasn't rather listened to us in a year, a couple things. So first, Alice and Martha were on season 2, episode 30. Yes, Tim, we're still counting. This is season 3, episode 28, number 118. But anyway, so if you're just catching up, I had a baby boy last February 9th, and that's when Alice and Martha were here, and we did our maternity podcast, and everything was great. And I talked a lot last year about whether, if that was going to be my swan song if I, died. I didn't. So,
Right. That we know.
was so dark. Yeah.
You could be a robot. We don't know.
That's true.
we get
There's
robot
no way to know.
Shandy, not robot Colleen.
True.
Cool. What's everyone else been up to over the last year? Okay, great. I guess the show's done.
Not much. Cricket.
I haven't had any babies, unfortunately.
No, I think you had the biggest accomplishment there.
No, Shandy got a cat box that cleans itself. That's a pretty cool
Oh,
accomplishment.
I did hear about that, actually.
I
Are
will
we
say,
still enjoying the self-cleaning cat box?
I now understand why Jack was not super, I don't know, excited about it, why he was only medium excited or sort of blasé even. No.
So it's not that
as great
great.
as it sounds. It started out on a really high note. The first couple of days were life-changing and wonderful. Since then, I've come to the realization that basically, and shit, I haven't done this today, but it needs to be cleaned out on a daily basis.
Oh.
The shit.
Yeah, maybe every 2 days, but it really you really have to be on it. So you're not scooping as much, but then it's kind of well, what's the difference?
Yeah,
The
what's
other
the difference?
Right.
Exactly. It scoops it for you. It scoops it for you and puts it in this plastic container, and the plastic is really it's really driving me nuts. I really wanted to reuse the plastics. I already ended up throwing out one because it just was all crazy. So I'm not crazy about that. The comb yesterday got detached. So it's okay, another reason why you really have to be on it, because what if that happens? You can't let that just hang out for a day and then it just
Now
becomes
you're,
normal.
Yeah. Now you have to just pretty much do, as much as you were doing before, if not more.
Exactly.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the comb that goes through the litter, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the rake.
Okay, I was like picturing a comb that like pets the cat as it's peeing or something. I was like, oh, that would be a cool feature.
You're doing great. You're doing great, Kitty.
That's the
Amazing, sweetie.
deluxe version.
Right. Yeah. And then also, like, litter kind of gets a lot of places. And so, like, you have to vacuum probably as much, if not more. But, like, the problem is before I would, like, physically move the cat boxes and vacuum all around. And that was easy enough to do. But this one's heavier. So it's harder to move. And it's also plugged in. So, like, you can't just, there's not the same ease of moving it around if you need to vacuum around it, but there's no lid, so there's just like litter. Anyway,
yeah. So we had a friend growing up whose family had one of those electric cat self-cleaning litter boxes, and they were always sort of like a little underwhelmed with it, and it kind of I think at certain point it quit working, so they just used it like as a regular litter box. So that's why I haven't tried it. I was kind of actually hoping that it had gotten better because that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, you would think,
but I guess not.
I'm just
you would
shocked these
think,
have
and
been
like
around that
we
long.
didn't buy the most expensive model, but we also bought what I feel like is kind of like a normal run-of-the-mill model. So I don't know.
Yeah. Call me when they invent a self-cleaning litter box with a grooming feature. And I'll buy that.
I think you should patent that right now.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
good idea.
done.
How you're gonna make your millions.
The litter box spa.
Although I don't know why I didn't think about that. Of course, you plug it in when you were like, and it plugs into the wall. I was like, whoa, brain. What do you mean? A litter box is plugged into the wall? That's crazy.
Well, they make
Like,
sure to.
Of course it does.
Did you think that was for the air freshener feature?
No, it just like didn't dawn on me that like the mechanics of it obviously were powered by electricity. I was just like, oh yeah, it's like battery operated.
It does have that option. You have to use 8 AA batteries, and they recommend that you do like put the batteries in case of a power outage
instead of just like using it like a regular litter box. Like God forbid you scoop the poop yourself.
Yeah. And that's the worst thing is you still do scoop the poop yourself.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
what would be good is if they could have it like somehow connected to a garbage can or something.
Yeah, so it just like sunk through to the bottom or something, and then you just pulled out the tray and dumped it.
Or it just was a garbage can.
Well, yeah.
Teach our pets how to go in the garbage can.
Yeah, well, you can teach cats how to actually use the toilet.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've never known any cats personally that do that.
No,
but
it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, I think so.
Gabby, I don't think she'd be having that.
A lot of chance of like spillage and
Yeah.
gross stuff.
It's a lot of training, and cats aren't easy to be trained.
Well, I think
Right.
it works well if you have like multiple bathrooms and maybe one like that your family doesn't normally use. That could be like the cat's bathroom.
The cat room.
Cat room.
Thank you for laughing.
Yes. No, I don't think that would work for us because Gabby's kind of a dirty girl, and Fiona's like not as spry as she once was.
Oh,
How old is she now?
She's like 12 or 13, and she's
Wow.
kind of like showing her age.
Oh,
I still always thought of 12. I think I said this on the broadcast. I can't remember,
Yes,
but
we talked about this last week after Captain's vet visit and his senior wellness trip.
My cat heard you talking about.
oh, hello,
Cats.
Rob.
So you wanted to get in the frame. Sorry.
Nice. No, so that
Not
was
gonna be on
literally
the
last
audio.
week.
Yeah, okay.
Oh. Well, we could hear about it later then.
Yeah, well, 12 or 13 isn't as young as I thought it was. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And I feel like Fiona's actually like noticeably, old lady-like now.
Yeah, well, for some cats live a long time. Like we were talking about, one of our friends' cats lived to be like 21.
Oh, that's really old.
Yeah.
Well, I was
And I feel
planning
like
on Fiona going for about 30 years. So
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So she's not even like halfway.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I feel like 18 is pretty not atypical for cats. So I wouldn't say it's typical, but
She can do
Okay.
it. She's a spry, smart girl. She can do it.
She can do it. Yeah. I was going to say fun story, but it's more like sad story. The first time that I ever went to Alice's house and the first time that I ever met Martha was...
I like how we're laughing.
I'm getting really sad thinking about this. Thanks, Shandy.
Sorry. I was really excited to meet their cat, but he died the day that I went to visit.
So she didn't get to meet Stanley.
Okay.
Yeah, he was sick, and then he just kind of couldn't make it until Shandy arrived.
Yeah, he heard Shandy was coming. He was only
Stanley
11.
out.
He was only 11, but he was very sick.
He got really sick for the last month of his life. It just was really fast, and then he died.
Okay, let's change the subject here.
Yes, definitely regretting bringing that up.
Wow, we've just spoken for 8 minutes about cats.
Well, it's either cats or the DMV. You've got to pick your
Right.
Well,
Our crossover episodes are all about the menial parts of life. Real, true slice of life stuff.
that's very true. So I think before we continue, we need to stop real quick and give a not safe for work warning.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So those of you who may or may not know, I have been trying to get better about my language in general, but I make no guarantee about the subject matter because sometimes we just start talking about random things. And by random things, I mean, what's an example of some of the stuff that we talk about? One time we were on Wikipedia and we saw a picture of a blowjob.
Oh, and that was a wonderful
Rabbit hole.
rabbit hole we went down.
Yeah, we went down the rabbit hole of all the things that 30-something women could think of to check out on Wikipedia and giggle about. So yeah, I
I'll
make
learn something.
no guarantees about the actual subject matter, but anyway.
Yeah, so just if you're used to listening to Real Weird Sisters, it might be different, but maybe this is what you're looking for. So
Right. We called this in our, when we posted this in our group, the Real Weird Sisters After Dark edition. So
I think last year I called
it's about
it
to get real dark.
exactly.
It already did with the dead cats.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I
kind of
think
dark.
last year I called it Alice and Martha Gone Wild.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Right. Super
Woo!
wild.
Yep, bit of spiked
Wild
butter
as
beer,
it
and let's do this thing.
Yeah. Alice and Martha, why don't you give us a brief, quick, for anybody who didn't listen last year, who's new to the show, do you want to tell us a little bit about Real Weird Sisters real quick?
Sure. So on our show, we talk about everything related to Harry Potter. Primarily, our main episodes that we do are in what we call a book club format. So we go through the books, we reread one chapter each week, and then we talk about the chapter very in depth, sometimes for an hour and 45 minutes over 10 pages. But we talk about the chapter in depth, and we just discuss, everything that we love about Harry Potter. Right now, we're 10 chapters into Half-Blood Prince. So we're actually on the kind of end stretch, but people love going back and catching up on the book club. So it's never too late to join us.
Yes, and we also do special episodes from time to time. Shandy has been a guest on 2 episodes. I don't know why that number isn't higher. Sorry. And we have yet to have Colleen or Amanda on the show, but we would love to anytime. So I'm sure before the podcast is over, all 3 of you will hopefully be guests on it.
I
Nice.
hope so.
Agreed.
I would love
I will
to.
wait for my owl.
And I will say the first episode that I was on, still to this day, is very confusing to me. But apparently people liked it.
The
so
Hunger Games
that's
one.
good.
It's like the number one episode that people talk about, that we get feedback on.
Yeah.
It was a crossover of the Hunger Games and Harry Potter, and sort of like a role-playing Dungeons and Dragons type game. So it was really fun.
And right up Shandy's alley.
Everything Shandy loves.
Competition.
It was. I actually did. I downloaded it while we were recording last year, and I went and I listened to it a couple days after. I agree. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. And also confusing too.
Yeah.
A little confusing.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
Mostly enjoying myself.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Also, since last year, Amanda has now seen Cursed Child.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's right. I remember you talking about that and that's why you couldn't get the Cursed Child spoilers.
Right.
So now you can go back and listen to Martha doing some very inappropriate impressions.
I had actually forgotten that, like, I earmuffed for that because I started to re-listen to the episode before we recorded. I didn't get through the whole thing. So
yeah.
Well, it was
treat.
Voldemort and Bellatrix involved in some interesting actions. I'm sure now that you've seen the play, you can imagine.
Yeah, one of the darkest times in my life.
You should go back and re-listen.
It was an out-of-body experience. Let's just say that.
That's how I felt about Hunger Games.
Yeah. Right, pretty much the same thing, those two.
Nice. I still have to read Cursed Child, but I have it sitting over here in my stack of to read books. But guys, the plays were so freaking magical. I can't even adequately put it into words.
Oh, I'm
that's
jealous.
awesome to
That's
hear.
really good to hear. Yeah, because I think for a lot of fans who have only read the books, or the book, including us, it's just not the same. And I've always imagined it's going to be way better on stage. So I want to see it someday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I wish that I had seen the play first instead of watching or reading the script. I still haven't seen the play, but I envy you for having watched it, seen it be performed before reading it. Because the script itself is just not as fun of an experience to read.
Yeah,
fair, and I really do have to thank you, ladies, for that, because I think you guys were all very instrumental in me just putting the blinders on and not doing any reading and walking in completely fresh.
Good.
And I 100% appreciate it, because I think it was all the more magical for it. Not knowing all the plot twists ahead of time really were super, super impactful. That's not to say, though, I went with a couple of other women that had read the book and still had kind of forgotten some of the things were coming. So the experience was still great for them as well.
Okay.
But the end of the first play, not knowing that was coming, was absolutely just mind blowing.
Yeah.
I guess, can we spoil
awesome.
now? I feel like I'm trying not to spoil.
I think we can.
We already did last time, right?
It's also been out for almost 3 years.
Yeah, we
now.
always put a warning before we talk about it, but I think we've definitely done a sufficient warning at this point.
We'll put a spoiler.
And that's kind of the funny thing of going to see it on Broadway. There's such a big push of their hashtag is literally keep the secrets.
Right.
They're so don't tell anybody. Don't spoil it for someone else.
The script is out
give
there.
You buttons. You leave from one show, they hand you a keep the secret button. You come back, they hand you another button.
Oh my gosh.
I have 6 keep the secrets buttons. So I feel like I am brainwashed. I think when you're sitting before the show starts, there's probably some really low buzz that's just don't tell anyone. Don't spoil it.
Keep the secrets.
Keep the secrets. But it's so immersive. From the second you walked in the theater, it was completely transportive. And when you leave from one play to the next, they've totally redressed the all the souvenir kiosks, and the whole lobby is all redone. The Hogwarts logo disappears, and the Slytherin sign pops up. It's so cool.
Oh, cool.
It was so cool.
So what was how much time passed between part 1 and 2 for you?
I did it all in one day. So they give you nice. 2 hours, I think.
Okay.
So you have enough time to go get food and center yourself and talk through it, and then you go back and you sit and you.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
You do it all again.
Yeah, I know some people have done it part 1 on Sunday and part 2 on Friday or something. So I think it would probably be best to do it all on the same day.
Yeah, and when you buy your tickets, they really try and push you to do them all in one day.
Yeah.
Even I know they do Monday, Tuesday, and like even
Mhm.
that they really pushed you to do the matinee shows.
Mhm.
Which is great, but it was also like, so it was a really crowded theater, so we were like
Yeah.
way in the back, and so you're doing a lot of like craning to see, but yeah, it was so freaking magical. It was worth every penny. If you have an opportunity to go, do yourself a favor and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really want to. So someday.
Hopefully, yeah. I really want to. I'm really jealous that you got to do that.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, one of the perks of living in New York, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So, speaking of magical entertainment, do we want to talk about how much Fantastic Beasts sucked?
Ooh, we don't think it
Ooh,
sucked.
no.
Either.
Really?
And
Oh.
I feel free to spoil me, but I honestly still haven't even seen the first one.
I like the
Ooh.
first
Shandy.
one. I
Well,
thought the
that's-
second one was
That's really
meh.
good because the spoilers won't stick as much because you don't know the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't. Whatever.
Wow, the shade.
Purist, huh?
Yeah. So Colleen, Martha, and I actually really liked the movie. I mean, I can see some of the frustrations that people had, but for me, what I always have been saying is like, I just keep this as like second. Like, I don't connect this as canon for me. Like, this is just an outside experience, and it doesn't mess with the original canon, so I can still enjoy it.
Even when it does mess
Even
with the
though
original
it
canon,
does,
it
because
doesn't.
McGonagall is like alive before she's born and
Yeah.
teaching.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of have to like get
Suspend
past that.
disbelief.
Just like forget it. Like I just
Yeah.
like pretend that isn't the
But
case.
it wasn't even so much
Right, but
that
wasn't there
stuff for
something
me.
that like that could be her grandmother? Like, or is
Well,
that
that's-
just people making excuses
that
for
was
a
my
very
excuse.
large script faux pas?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, maybe it's not actually the Minerva McGonagall we know, and it's just somebody with that name. But I think it was like one of those things where they're like, let's put this in there for the casual fans who are going to be excited and understand now it's the same school that Harry was at.
Yeah. Well, something nice.
But,
I
like,
thought
feel
Jude
like they
Law.
don't make that big a mistake.
Well, I think
They
that
shouldn't. But
yeah. That would be my hope, but I feel like the Harry Potter filmmakers in general have a like lower they don't seem to like understand the super fan on like how much criticism they're going to get from those types of
I- they
fans.
should, What I think is I
They
don't
wrote
think-
the script.
Right.
I feel like they don't understand what super fans love about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like, so then they put in stuff as like little, supposed to be like Easter eggs, but it's like they kind of just mess it up. Like I can't really exactly explain what I mean by that, but I just feel like they kind of get it wrong, like of what
They
people are
put it-
looking for.
I think they put
like-
it in there to do lip service, but
Yeah.
it's just forced.
Exactly.
But I will say something nice. I thought that Jude Law was awesome as Dumbledore. I loved
Agreed.
him.
Yeah, not who I would have picked, but like totally
So
like,
good.
I bought it.
Yeah.
He totally embodied the role like better than both Michael Gambon for sure, and then probably Richard Harris as
Yeah.
well. And may he rest in peace.
Yeah. But I did not like what they did to Zoe Kravitz's character. I did not
Yeah.
like what they did to, what's her name? Miffy, Tippy.
Queenie?
Queenie, thank you.
Tippy.
I was like,
I didn't like that they.
yeah, the Queenie plot was my least favorite as well.
Well, we have to see where
It
it's
just was
going.
out of
Yeah, that's
character
how I
for
feel,
her.
too.
Like, she was like not the one, if I left the first movie, who was gonna go straight up fucking MAGA wizard. It was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna be Queenie.
yeah,
I
I
kind of like that they did make it her, just like given what the climate of the world is. Like I thought it was kind of like an interesting commentary on
but most of those
suburban white
people-
women, college-educated white women.
yeah.
Yeah, but most of those people you could see it coming in real life. Like with Queenie, I couldn't see it coming.
Fair.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, we'll
I
see.
said, I think she's going to come back.
Yeah.
So that's where I like have a little bit of trouble. Just like, I feel like we don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
Like there was a big gap that we missed of what she was doing and what she was thinking. So I think that we're going to get
Yeah, make
More-
Queenie great again, everybody.
Well, and a ton of this
Every
movie,
story needs a damsel.
a ton of that movie was setting up the future movies of the series, which like that could be its own criticism, obviously. But I feel like I can't totally judge a lot of those plots, like the reveal with Credence at the end and stuff. I want to
Okay.
withhold judgment until the next movies come out.
The reveal with Credence at the end, the only thing I could like tell myself to justify why we had never heard of that person's existence before would to be like maybe the wizard Men in Black like erased everybody's memory or something.
Yeah, no, my theory is that Grindelwald is making that up, but that's what I'm hoping for. It's probably not real. Probably not what's actually happening.
Yeah, and I did not like Johnny Depp, but he was a good job as a creeper, but I didn't like him because
I know, it's hard to get past because you shouldn't have to.
Right, that was definitely the black mark on the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I liked it.
Maybe I will watch it again whenever it's on like HBO or something.
Yeah.
But
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'll say I think it's Oh, sorry.
I'm done. I said meh.
I'll say I do think it was very entertaining and held my interest the whole time, which I can't say about every movie. So
that's true.
Yes. I think I only had one beer during it, so I could make sure I could follow it.
It was pretty complicated.
Yeah, it was.
Well, the first one was kind of straightforward, but also complicated at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the first
it
one,
had
though.
more fun aspects to it.
Yes.
It was less like plot driven.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And it's like, I don't know if it's just because I'm dumb, or that because everyone talked about how complicated this film was and how it was hard to like understand and catch everything one time through. And I felt like I was following it fine. So I don't know if I'm just missing like large swaths of like undertone.
You're probably just smarter than most people.
Yeah, you're a genius.
I find that highly unlikely.
I think the part that was most confusing for people was like all the like, this is what happened in the past, or was it? And like the different versions of the stories that happened, like with Lita's family and stuff like that. So I feel like that was kind of like
the part I found hard to follow. I feel like I always find this hard to follow in movies is like they were jumping around from location to location a lot. Like I kept on being like, so now where are they and stuff? And like that was where I kind of had trouble tracking it. But
agreed.
Yeah.
But I also thought Nicholas Flamel was going to have a bigger part.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was a little bummed that like there wasn't more of him.
Like, yeah, that Nicolas Flamel was definitely weird. I mean, Nicolas Flamel.
Yeah, Shandy, you would like it. There was a lot of it was in France.
Ooh.
Yeah, like 90% of the story.
Well, maybe I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah.
At some point, for sure, you should. They are good.
I need someone on my side.
I'll get around to it.
It's very convincing.
No, it's just like, like I missed the first one when it was in theaters, and I don't even remember why. Maybe just because I don't go to a lot of movies in general, and it's like, whatever. And so then when the second one came out, it's like, well, I can't go watch this one if I haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, no, totally.
And then by now it's like, okay, well, for me to watch them, that's like starting to be a lot of hours.
Yeah. Well, it's still 2 years till the next one comes out. Or
oh my God, there's gonna be more.
There's gonna be
3 more.
5, right? There's 5 total.
Okay, now I better understand one of the questions that we got.
Okay.
Foreshadowing.
Well, let's get into all right, so what do you say we move into a little bit of feedback? So we are actually, for anybody that we're going to save our non, I guess, wizard feedback for our show next week. But we do have a segment every week that's called #Matt's What She Said. And it's one of our listeners, Matt, will take some of the sexually suggestive things that we've said from the previous episode and list them all out. And this is what I'm saying. I make no guarantee on contact. I will say fork in all day nowadays. But, I mean, we can get raunchy. So, Alice and Martha, do you want to go wild with us and help us read some of the Matt's What She Says?
Sounds good.
Of course, yeah. I hope it'll keep me satisfied and smiling.
That's my favorite one.
Nice. I think it will.
Such a happy mother here. Proud mother.
Yeah, Shandy is our mother for those who are
Yeah, it's kind of awkward to do this with our mom on the show.
I'm embarrassed.
It's really weird, too, how she told the dead cat story and didn't mention...
No.
All right, take it away, Shandy.
All right, I got some feedback from it, so I'm trying it out in other arenas to see if I can get the same sort of response.
Ooh.
A minute in, and I'm already ruining the show.
Gosh darn it, they don't perform for us.
What is that? How does that work? Tell me everything.
You need to take a picture of this.
I can totally rinse that out.
Ever since we got Gabby, she is just a messy girl. She's a real dirty girl.
For a total of 4 in 8 days.
He did one in South Carolina on Saturday and then one in Georgia on Sunday.
Save it for me, and I'll trade you for something.
That one's for you.
You take it out 5 minutes early.
I've been doing it every day for the last 4 months.
That's why I take it with me.
It's the fun of the poll. Hashtag homophones. Oh, okay, I get it now. Okay. Let me try that one again. It's the fun of the poll.
When I saw that, I totally read it in my head as homophones first too, but then I had this whole back and forth with is that really how you spell homophones?
Yeah. Well, as soon as I
Greek root.
It all comes from the same root, Shandy.
yeah.
Well, no, it makes total sense. Yeah, but I had a moment.
Yeah,
so
can we all just clarify that I misread it, but I do know what the word is in real life? Okay, thanks.
Ironically, homophones are supposed to sound the same, but you read it in a different pronunciation.
What was the maybe it's Baseline?
Oh, all the mispronunciation. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Start us off, please.
If you're really feeling fancy, put a little Ready Whip on top.
That's my favorite one. I guess putting it on just your mouth is a good thing.
That's my favorite so far.
Usually.
What was the context for that one?
Yeah, what were you talking about?
That's a good question. We often
no idea.
ask ourselves the same question.
I just want to know where they're going to take it next.
Okay.
Oh, thank God I'm reading this one. Is this me next?
Yeah.
I got Jay all in on it with me.
He went back and forth on her.
Our girls got it.
I had to bring it back there. Or back
All
there,
right.
I guess.
I had to bring it back there.
I had to bring it back there. Was that what? I don't know
I think I had to bring it back there.
Oh my God, I love this. I think we should all take turns with our own pronunciation of it.
Hashtag homophones.
Hashtag, yeah.
Hashtag homophones.
Homophones.
I really do want to know about the mouth thing though. I'm racking my brain.
Right.
I
I
was-
remember.
Yeah. I forgot that we talked about cat age last week, so clearly I'm not going to remember this.
I think that because we were talking about the ice cream with the Ready
Putting ice
Whip.
cream on your mouth?
Yes.
You just put it.
Because we were talking about food that you intentionally prepare wrong because it's delicious.
You just put it on your mouth. You don't put it in your mouth.
Sometimes you just want to get the flavor and you don't want the calories.
So you spit it out.
Who does that?
I don't think that was the thing.
Well, according to last year's discussion, not Hermione.
Oh, yes.
I am trying to remember though what food or whatever we were talking about with that. I'm sure Matt
What could
will
you
tell us.
possibly only put on your lips?
Chapstick.
Well, yeah, I was going to say lip balm.
Lipstick?
I just keep thinking of the scene from Old School. It's so good when it hits your lips.
Maybe it was supposed to be in your mouth, and that's a typo.
No, it just fell out of your mouth.
Yeah.
On your mouth sounds more like something we would say, though.
Yes, it's a great segment.
Yes,
I'm sure there'll be a lot for next week.
Thank you.
Here's
as
hoping.
always.
Yes.
All right. I guess now it's time for the actual specific facey back, which is our face back feedback hybrid, if you will. It's kind of like a homophone, but not really. All right. Tim Allen says, please discuss other Harry Potter characters that you ship.
So actually, Shandy
Thank
was
you.
on
Next.
our.
Please reveal. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Actually, Shandy was on our holiday special this year to talk about different Harry Potter relationships that we wanted to add to the canon or add to our own fan fictions. So I guess Tim's just itching for more.
I know. I feel like we really like.
We went down a lot of rabbit holes with that.
Yeah.
So,
I'd like to hear Amanda's and Colleen's ideas.
yeah, what are some like characters who never got together who you ship?
Oy.
I'm old. I don't understand this term ship.
Oh, okay,
Really?
okay.
It's like
No, you're
two
just-
people that you wish would be in a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think they'd make a good couple.
So
Like-
You think that they would be good in a
relationship.
relationship?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's making like
If-
relationship
If
into
you
a
like
verb.
see the couple, you're like, I ship it.
Yeah.
I ship it. That's how you have to say it.
Oh, you use and your funny sayings.
I literally described this to a couple coworkers a few weeks, like actually probably a couple months ago, and they were like, "Oh, ship! It stands for relationship," and I'm like, "Yeah." And so you say like, "I ship it." They're like, "No, there's no way it's a verb." I'm like, "No, it is. Like, it's definitely a verb." And I'm like,
No,
"No,
you're using it wrong.
And I'm like, and I don't know this because I'm like young, quote unquote. Like this is because I'm online on stuff. Like that's
You've
the only
been
reason I
online
know
for
it.
like 20
Well,
years.
I used to think that the ship, like I ship it, was like I ship it like overseas. Like it's not like I'm sending it to like the next level. So I didn't
Sending it
really
to
get that.
someone else.
Yeah, but
Oh
then
my
I got
God.
that ship, like when you say it as a noun, was part of relationship. And then I ship it. I was like, where are you shipping it? So I'm definitely not the expert on youths sling.
Yeah, I feel like it took me a long
lingo.
time to understand that it came from relationship too. So
Yeah.
that was kind of dumb of me.
You know
Or
which
why we all care so much about like other people's relationships.
because it's what fandoms do. It's fun. Like people who ship like I don't know characters on things. Now I
Here's
get-
like a common ship for Harry Potter would be Luna and Neville, for
yes.
example.
Or Draco and Hermione.
Yeah, Hermione.
Ooh.
Or Draco and Harry.
So do you guys have any ideas? Because we went through quite an extensive list with
And
Shandy.
we did, like couples, not even just like, some trios, some
Of course, it was
Some
Shandy,
animals.
yeah.
Ooh, who are
Yes.
the animals?
Well, we had
Fox and Hedwig.
yep,
Yes.
and we had Crookshanks and Sirius as a dog.
But only as a dog, right? When he's
Yeah.
a human.
Animals.
Yeah. He's got a
But I guess-
human girlfriend.
Could do Buckbeak and Unicorn.
Or the the half horseman.
Oh, Frenzy.
Yeah, the centaur.
Yeah, the
Frenzy
centaur.
and
Thank you. I was like, he's pretty high. He's got to be with somebody.
We just had this discussion on our most recent book club episode. Do you actually find Frenzy to be attractive? Because that's a question that we were asking to our general listenership.
I feel like there's a lot of porn out there about stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like a very common.
Well, I think because
No.
centaurs are supposed to be like, such a strong creature. Like there's something inherently sexy about them.
Okay, well, what about like Frenzy and like Umbridge?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
now
That would be
you-
kind of like one of those cases where like a super homophobic person turns out to be gay. It's kind of like that with
Yeah.
Umbridge, how she's super like bigoted against the centaurs, and then it turns out she's actually super into centaurs.
Yeah, like she
One
hates herself.
one look at them washboard abs, and she'd be thinking something different.
She stands.
Exactly.
It doesn't make it any cuter.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
it-
she stands for him. See, I'm young. I can use words like stands and ships.
I don't
You
know what that
stand?
means either.
Yeah.
Okay, I learned Stan like 2 years ago, like on the show
From
too.
me.
So I totally empathize.
Okay, I
Stan is when
learned
you're a
it
crazy
from that Facebook group that we are all in together. I was like, why does everyone keep saying this Stan word? So, Amanda,
Has various origins, but
the one
the
that
Eminem song would be the one that I usually
Mhm.
refer to. Yeah.
so you know the Eminem song Stan, Amanda?
No,
My tears gone cold. I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all.
that's what that
Hey,
sounds
that's
called.
pretty good, Colleen.
Thank you.
I thought that was a Dido song.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
then Eminem
sampled.
raps.
Yeah.
And Eminem
like on
raps
top
it
of
and
that.
ends up being like about the super crazy fan who, locks the girlfriend in the trunk and drives off the cliff and kills her.
Because Eminem-
Whoa. Stan,
Yeah.
not stand-a,
No, Stan.
which is what I thought you
Oh.
were saying. Like
But then-
Stan, as in the music video with Devon Sawa from Casper.
Devon
Yes.
Sawa.
Oh my god, I
Boom.
remember seeing his penis in Now and Then.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But Stan also is like stalker plus fan together.
Yes.
Like,
Oh. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like a
But
super
Did Eminem know that when he wrote the
I
lyrics?
think, well, Eminem does like wordplay, so
Hashtag.
Wow, Shandy's mind just got blown. She had that expression on her face. I enjoyed that.
That's what she said.
I know there's like a Akio homophones jokes in here somewhere.
anyway, any Harry Potter characters that we ship?
I just told you, Ferenzi and Umbridge.
No,
She hates them.
I do
She's
not
season
ship
herself.
How about like
Yeah.
I don't want to make Ferenzi do that, like because he's
Ferenzi's,
cool
like,
and he's
good,
nice,
like-
but like what about like Bane or Ronan or what are like the
Yeah.
mean
Yeah, we can do
centaurs?
that.
Yeah, because that'd be like
Mm.
reaction formation on both of their parts, like the defense mechanism where they're, totally against. In Bane's case, he's totally against humans. and he
Right.
falls in love with a human.
Perfect.
I don't think either of them is really going to like tame the other per se.
See, I came up with something really profound here in the end. I'm glad we talked through it.
Well, we did have someone in our patron group point out we're all half centaur.
I
After
liked
all.
that.
Oh, we all have some. Oh, oh, that one sneaks up on you. Just a minute.
Yeah, other than that, I
Dumb,
think I'm good because I'm even trying to cheat on the internet right now, and I don't see anything that's.
Yeah. Well, this was Tim's question, so I don't feel too bad that we're not
No,
coming up with
we-
any great answers.
We can move
Ooh,
on.
Listen to our
I
holiday
have one.
Ooh,
Oh,
McGonagall and Professor Trelawney. Trelawney? Trelawney?
Oh yeah,
Trelawney.
Trelawney.
ooh.
I can see that.
Yeah, that
I
could be
enjoy
pretty
that.
interesting.
Yeah,
I
Could
dig
be.
it.
Opposites attract.
Well,
Yes.
and we do see a real moment of tenderness between the
Mhm.
two
we
of
do.
them. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that just led to something more.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see
McGonagall walked her up to the North Tower, and
it. Yep.
she
The
was trying to
rest was
comfort her,
history.
and that's where it went from there. I should write fan fiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going great for you.
Next thing you know, they found themselves in the room of requirement together.
Yep.
Oh,
what that room is
Everybody needs love.
True.
Yeah, I feel like those two would drive each other crazy, but like just the right amount.
the right amount of cherry.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Gotta hide those sherry bottles.
Let's see. Continuing on. Please reveal what you would smell if you sniffed that potion. Gross. Alice is going to say Paul's hair.
Okay, so he's talking I'm assuming that, I'm reading between the lines here. He's trying to say the love potion, also known as amortentia. We talked about this recently on our book club. And actually, Martha and I just answered this on a patron cast, which has not yet been released.
Ooh.
Mm.
So We've already revealed our answers. We can say it now, though.
Yeah, I kind of decided.
I did not say Paul's hair,
No.
by the way. That's
But
unpleasant.
just for those who aren't familiar, amortentia takes on the smell of things that you are that you love or are attracted to, like your favorite smells, so that you're like more likely to drink the potion.
So Harry's one smells like treacle tart
a
and
broom handle.
Just the tip, though.
Just a tip.
and Ginny, it's implied that it smells like Ginny. It's something sweet that he smelled at the burrow.
Something flowery, yes. So mine is this pound cake that our dad bakes.
So boring to talk about
and
right
then,
now.
So our dad's pound cake, and then
Okay, that's what she said right there.
I
Your
know.
dad makes pound cake? That's awesome.
It's really good. And it's like almond extract, so it's very good. So that's the first
yeah.
one. And then
yeah.
what were the other two? Mountain Air.
Martha had pens.
Oh, there's this certain pen that I really like that has a very distinct smell. It's kind of
Sharpie?
sweet. Not Sharpies. It's not magic markers. Not Sharpies.
We said Martha was like huffing her markers.
No, I'm not huffing markers. I swear.
It's those scented markers.
No,
that
it's not
fruit.
No. Mr. Sniff or something. Or Mr.
Which flavor of those was the best? Like the grape flavor or orange?
chocolate.
Ew, no.
Yeah.
Licorice was the worst.
Orange all
Licorice
the
was
way.
the worst. Oh my god, I
Orange
remember
is pretty
that.
good. Okay, let's go ahead and reveal yours.
And then mine, I said, like some sort of cookie baking.
Not a wafer.
No, not a wafer, a cookie, like a real chocolate chip cookie. And then I said the smell of my cats, which some people will find weird, but I think my cats smell really good.
I hear you there.
And,
And
what was
Mountain Air.
our
Our third
the
one was
fresh
the same
mountain air.
Nice.
Like when you're camping.
So now we have to hear you three. What you think would be your
It's basically, what are your favorite smells? is the
Pizza.
question.
That's all I could
Pizza?
think of the
Ooh,
whole
nice,
time.
yeah.
I'm like,
Pizza?
I would drink anything that tastes like pizza.
Yeah, same.
Fair.
Unless it has pineapple on it, then forget about it.
Definitely baked goods, like chocolate baked goods.
it's tough to not just do foods. Like
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
that was my inclination, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I had to really reach for those other smells.
Yeah.
I like the mountain air thing, and I never thought I would be saying this, but also like the ocean.
Yeah.
Like-
I was going to say ocean.
I've
Yeah.
come to appreciate that. Like
Agreed.
today, the ocean smelled particularly potent, and it's like that really good.
Well, it's like high tide ocean versus low tide ocean. High tide ocean smells better. I have an affinity for low tide smell, but
Is that a little fishier or?
it's a little fishier. I wouldn't
Okay, so
I
then we
wouldn't
must
drink
have been-
that.
Right, we must have been in the low tide because it definitely smelled more like fishier.
Andy,
Like
you've
the
become such a
smell.
Californian.
I know.
You're such a California girl.
hmm Don't I know it?
Well, she is all Hollywood now.
That's true. She's a working actress.
Well, that's true. Yes, I did get my W-2 for my.
Oh my
work.
god,
Nice.
so official.
When does that come out?
In June is what Nicole Kidman said. So
She's
When
Nicole,
she texted you
you know.
that or what?
Just a DM.
yeah.
She
No,
slid
she
into your
said that at
DMs.
some interview or something recently, and so like that's out that it should be in June, which makes sense because if Game of Thrones is coming out in April, then basically it'll be like April, May, and then Game of Thrones will be done forever.
Oh, so pretty
then-
soon I can just totally stand Shandy and I can be a Standie.
That is genius! That
I
is
like that a lot.
genius!
I think you're gonna have a lot of standees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Oh my
Not that I
God.
don't already stand you, Shandy.
But can you stand just one person?
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Usually it's just one person. But you
Okay.
have a lot of stands.
Yeah.
No, that would be
right.
shipping. You're thinking about
Right.
the shipping.
Right.
Okay, I'm calling this episode the real weird Standies.
Perfect.
I
I'm
love
a
it.
Standy. I'll admit it. My name's Martha, and I'm a Standy.
All right. So speaking of, the next question is why haven't you had?
We're done? Okay, fine.
Oh,
Nobody else revealed all their smells.
You have to pick
oh, 3.
Pick two, at least one more, I would say.
Okay, sorry, I
Okay.
didn't know that I wasn't done yet. And it can't
Just
be food.
because it has to be more complex.
Dig a little deeper.
Dig woman.
What about like Alex's baby smell?
I do-
Ooh,
Yeah, what?
like
So-
a baby's head.
I'm
So I
surprised that you
thought
didn't pick
about
a baby smell, Martha.
Well, I don't have my own baby, so
That's true. It is a little creepy when it's
yeah,
just general
exactly.
babies.
Martha would probably pick the smell of Colleen's kids.
Yeah, I mean, I've never smelled them, but
They're pretty cute.
They're adorable.
They are, but they're boys, so they are inherently stinky. No, I thought about that, but then I felt bad not like immediately picking a Zach smell. Like I didn't
Couldn't
want
it
to.
be like both of their baby smell?
When they were
Am I
babies.
right?
Did they smell different? Like, did Zach smell different than Alex smells as a baby?
Yes, but I think that's just because everybody's body chemistry is different inherently.
Yeah.
But I mean the baby not shampoo, baby
oil.
detergent is, a really nice comforting smell. But I don't know if I would want to drink it. Can I just say
That's true.
can
I
just-
actually use baby detergent.
it's really
Oh,
right,
really?
the Dretch or whatever it's
I
called.
have very sensitive skin.
Yeah. It smells so good though.
It does.
Can I just say like the smell of in the middle of the woods, and I'm not even kidding.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's kind of what I meant by the mountain air.
Okay, because
too,
I distinctly meant I live next to a forest and I walk in there and I work on the other side of it. So I am constantly walking on either side of it. I could walk home from my house, like from my house to my office through this forest in like an hour. I'm not even kidding. But I sometimes like I'm in there and I just love the smell and how like peaceful everything smells and crisp and clean. And I think it's different than mountain air because I actually grew up hiking mountains.
Yeah.
Which is also a wonderful smell, but I didn't want to copy you. And I didn't want to say beach because I didn't want to copy California girl.
I
over
feel
here.
like that is different, but I totally get it.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
I think we spent. Thank you for answering the question fully, Colleen. You get an A.
I
I just didn't want to make Tim mad. You know how he is.
know he's the worst. So speaking of standees, the next question is why haven't you had Shandy on a Real Weird Sister in a normal sorting app? Okay, is he like purposely not grammaring these correctly?
Oh yeah, dude. Have you met Tim?
Is it voice memo? Is it like is that when we get voice to text going on?
I like how he can't spell haven't correctly.
He like perpetually texts us about Hermione and never can spell it right. And I'm like, maybe Hermione is a hard name to spell, but he always does Hermoine instead, so it's Oine.
Oh my
I feel like
gosh.
he's typed that enough times that it autocorrects. to
Also,
Hermoine
he
now.
always, instead of spelling Slytherin, he spells it Slytherian.
yes,
like,
with an extra.
It has
Y.
an IAN
Oh, an
at the
IAN,
end.
yeah.
Instead of Slytherin,
Like
it's like
Slytherian.
Slytherian.
So this is like pretty legible for him.
Fantastic. So why haven't you had Shandy on? And why doesn't
Well-
Tim want to know about me and Amanda?
Yeah,
I was going to say, that was actually more of the read between the lines. Apparently, Tim doesn't want you two on the show.
Yeah, whatever. Tim and I don't know each other that well.
you're lucky.
Yeah.
Shandy, why haven't you been on a Real Weird Sisters normal sorting app?
Well, it's true that I've never like pitched you guys an idea, so there's
Yeah.
probably that.
And actually, we have talked with Colleen about an idea,
Yeah.
and we've, for like 2 years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we've never scheduled it. That's the
Yeah.
problem with Colleen.
With
And
us
then
and Colleen.
What it is a lot of the times it's a trick. It's like the difficulty of figuring out, like, well, what are we going to sort? So anyone,
Like, we know we want to have you on the show, but we have to figure out what it is.
right? So any of the three of you who has an expertise or a show that or movie or something that you love, we'd love to sort it with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the hardest thing is like what am I an expert in? Like what what do I have like crazy fan knowledge of?
Well, you just
Sandy,
know
are
the
you suffering from
characters.
imposter syndrome?
No, I'm suffering from realistic syndrome. But you've had people like to sort the Friends cast who do a Friends podcast.
Yeah.
And things like that. So like that makes sense. But like, and it would make sense too if I was like, I don't know, just like crazy about some
The
show.
Hunger Games.
Right, yeah. Which I mean I've read them, but like also
Yeah.
that's fine.
That was
All right.
different. It wasn't really about the Hunger Games. It was
Yeah.
just about the format.
Well,
so
the other thing is, Tim's kind of implying that like sorting episodes are like the best thing you can do on Real Weird Sisters, and honestly, like we do so many Sorting Hat episodes that like it's even more special. I think when you do a special topics episode that's not a sorting episode. So Shandy has done 2 of those. Which is
True.
2 guest segments that were not sortings, and that's.
And which neither of them were my ideas, so
Yeah, well,
we're
we
getting
wanted to.
Okay, Shandy.
I think everything about this question is a little bit.
I think Tim's
flawed.
trying
Let's
to
move on.
pit us all against each other.
Yeah.
It's not going to
which is
happen.
Never gonna happen.
Nope,
All right.
we're gonna-
So this next question is actually something that I made a joke about earlier with Alice's impressions. I'm sorry, Martha's impressions.
Yeah, Martha's definitely not mine.
I know. Sorry, but Tim's final question is: please do an impression of Hagrid and Madame Maxine on a cold night, having had too much fire whiskey in the mountains while negotiating with giants.
Okay. First
That's
of all,
a
I
lot.
think Tim chose this because he knows I have a notoriously bad Hagrid impression. That like it's different every time I try to do a Hagrid impression, and it's never good.
I was saying it used to be so good.
It used to be better. I don't know what happened.
I'm sure it's still fine. I love your impressions.
Well,
just saying.
But
It's true that
Alice
Hagrid-
actually has a
I
pretty
do
good
not.
Madame Maxime.
I do not. You just made that up.
I think that we'll save this impression for another day because I don't have like lines to do. It was
Think
easy for the
about
last
it.
impression.
Think about it. We'll come back in the end.
Okay.
And that's what she said. All right, moving on. Jeremy wants to know, on a more serious note, I'm curious for some thoughts on the extent of Dumbledore and Grindelwald's relationship.
They were all hoping someone else would talk first.
Right. I suppose in what way?
Yeah. Okay, so I can start. Dumbledore and Grindelwald, I feel like, is a really interesting aspect of the Harry Potter canon that we don't know that much about yet. The limited like understanding that we have comes from obviously the 7th book, which is mostly just implications. We know that they had a friendship, and we know that they were close at one point. And then, of course, the reveal that J.K. Rowling chose to make later on. Of Dumbledore's sexual orientation kind of made people see that relationship differently after she had said that. So, and then
And when she revealed that, she did say that they had
Right.
been in a relationship.
Mhm. But still, we don't know that much. And with the Fantastic Beasts films, we're still kind of like,
It's gonna be,
it's gonna be more, but we don't know yet what. And apparently, Dumbledore's not going to be explicitly gay in the movies, so which
Really?
is a whole nother thing.
Why not?
That's what.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think that the fandom was generally very reacted negatively to that announcement. So I feel like
Serious?
they just think like, oh, we're supposed to keep this like quote unquote family friendly, and for some reason that's not included in that. And I definitely think they've misread the fan base, because I do think that most of the fan base would be totally fine with that, if not like very excited to see that. So
Wait, most of the fan base reacted negatively towards the Dumbledore is gay announcement from 11 years ago?
no, to the fact that we got the announcement that it's not going to be shown on the
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the fans reacted negatively to, saying like we need to see that. That's
Okay,
very
because
important.
I was gonna say that sounds odd to me, because most of the fandom also freaked out when Tumblr took the naked things away. So
right.
Okay.
So I think
Wait, what?
Tumblr doesn't allow nudity, and
Yeah.
has affected
anymore.
Martha's day to day very much.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've been losing
Oh, but
sleep over
that's-
it.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought you meant nude Harry Potter things specifically.
Well, I mean,
Well, I think
Well,
there's
yeah.
some Harry Potter stuff on there, but I don't know what. But
Draco and Hermione fan art, probably.
yeah, fan art, that kind of thing.
Bane and
Okay.
Umbridge, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Umbridge bareback in that. Sorry.
I don't think anyone needs to see that.
No.
You're welcome. Okay, sorry. So back to Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Is the question here more? Do we think that they straight up were together, whether they were partners or just like lovers or friends with benefits, or was it just platonic where they just kind of longed for each other? Although we,
Yeah, I feel like that might be the question.
And I think like J.K. Rowling has only ever said that like yes, Dumbledore loved Grindelwald, but we don't know whether it was reciprocated,
whether
or
it
not.
was consummated.
or or whether it was like Grindelwald manipulating Dumbledore too. Which I guess that's the thing that I like take issue with a little bit is like if this relationship was like a more of a like predatorial one where like Grindelwald was, we know he's a master manipulator and like super pretty much a psychopath, so like if that's what this relationship was, I can kind of see why filmmakers would hesitate to have that be like brought to light, because we wouldn't, I guess because there's so little representation of same-sex relationships that it wouldn't be necessarily awesome to have the one same-sex relationship in the Harry Potter canon be such a problematic one where it's like one of the people is like manipulating the other and it's like an
right, 'cause
abusive
that's
relationship.
shitty representation. Like that's not
Exactly, yeah.
You finally see somebody that you relate to on the screen. You don't want to see it to be such a negative.
Exactly.
Like if there was plenty of other representation, then yeah, like that is obviously there are same-sex relationships that are unhealthy too. So like if we had plenty of representation
Right.
across the board, then that would be okay. But to have that be like the one flagship relationship, I agree, would be a little bit disturbing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, she wrote the screenplay. She created McGonagall or her grandmother like way earlier. So why couldn't we just write a happier?
I don't really know why they had to make that announcement at all. Like,
yeah.
like
Who were they helping with that?
Right.
mean,
It feels a little. It always felt a
Marshalling.
little opportunistic to be like, oh, in hindsight,
Yeah.
Dumbledore is gay.
Yeah.
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 I know that I do think that was what some people took issue with, was just the kind of revisionist history of like, well, this wasn't in the books and now suddenly this is supposed to be what we think of. But so I don't know how much, it depends
mean,
how much you take it seriously.
I was always fine with the announcement. I was like, oh, cool. But the gay announcement, not the movie thing.
Right.
But then again, I don't want to see Johnny Depp getting
Yeah.
whatever with anyone. So maybe that's just a...
Really?
Good-
Because like I would sign up for that.
No, not this one. No, not Johnny Depp.
Johnny
in this
Depp,
movie.
Johnny Depp.
Not Johnny
No,
I was
Jude
thinking-
Law. Oh, I'd hit that
I was
all
like,
I was
day.
thinking Jude Law. Sorry.
I was like, Shandy, I don't know if you know what's going on with Johnny Depp.
I'm like, hey, Shannon, that is surprising coming from you.
Yeah, I was gonna say he also looks incredibly
Jude Law,
like.
obviously, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
I'm
but-
treating a little too hard on Jude Law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, to that same point, in the first Fantastic Beasts movie, I feel like Grindelwald, when he was played by Colin Farrell, like his Polyjuice Potioned character, had this
wish-
very like manipulative, like
Yeah.
creepy vibe to him, where it was like, even with like I saw like a weird relationship with Credence and him, where it was like very
Yes.
like he was
Yeah, but
grooming
that's
him.
different.
Very predatorial.
That
Yeah.
was, I mean, clearly predatorial. The age difference, Credence's lower status in life. Like Dumbledore and Grindelwald are more established, like intellectual equals and magical equals.
Right,
so,
they were the same age.
yeah.
Right, but I think from that portrayal, it makes me doubt that the Grindelwald-Dumbledore relationship was ever really two-sided, and makes me think that probably Grindelwald was only ever manipulating Dumbledore and, like, you know, playing into his feelings more than, you know, would have been healthy for a normal person to do.
Or maybe it
So-
was unrequited. And well, they were like
Well-
brothers growing up, weren't they?
Well,
You know,
it was just for the one summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grindelwald didn't live there full time. He just came there
That's
to
right.
stay for one summer.
Yeah.
Summer
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. One passionate summer.
Yeah, so I'm curious to find out what the like secondary canon is going to say as we watch more of these Fantastic Beasts movies as they come out. But my thoughts are that Grindelwald never really did love Dumbledore. It's kind of my thoughts. But Dumbledore, I do think was in love with him.
I would agree with that because I think that when you think of it in that context, I think it really does color adults Dumbledore and like how we see that character progress and who that character is by the time we meet up with him in the Harry Potter series itself. So while problematic, I think it is the most logical conclusion to draw about that relationship.
Yeah, well, and it makes you kind of sad to think like, okay, if that was the one relationship we know about that Dumbledore ever was in, like, and then it sounds like it, possibly was not healthy. Like, you would hope that he had found somebody else later in life, but we have no evidence of that.
There's something inherently sad about like Dumbledore's character and how he has this real like duality of his character where he's always kind of lusting after fame, but also kind of like shunning away from it. And I think that probably would be a direct result of being in a manipulative relationship in his primary years.
I don't know if fame is the right word. Maybe
not fame,
greatness.
But like
power.
Yeah, power, accolade. Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I don't know. Shandy, do you have any thoughts before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. But we can all agree that we wish there was more representation in general in the original Potter movies and better representation, like a chance to make up for it in this secondary canon, as you called it.
Right. Exactly.
Instead of making all the women have terrible things happen to them in the second movie, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that goes along with Cursed Child, too, and Albus and Scorpio's relationship, but that's another story.
Scorpius.
Yeah. All right.
Scorpius.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
this
No, but Shandy, were you going to say something?
Oh, just that this kind of also intersects with another question, so I think that we can explore a little bit more later. Like there's I think there's some interesting places to go.
Okay. Yes. So for the sake of time, I think we are going to actually stop it there, and we will put a pin in this here. We will have part 2 next week, so stay tuned. That's right. You have to listen to us 2 weeks in a row. And we will get to some of our feedback and whatnot next week. So please stay tuned for that because we may have already recorded it. And I have to say, it's pretty awesome.
It is.
But I hear there's Martha impressions next episode. I hear that's
rumor has it.
Yeah, rumor has it that's a thing. So, so on that note, I'd like to say thank you to the patrons for supporting us as always. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/JaneJack and go to janejack.com and click on the Become a Patron link at the top right hand side. If you'd like to shop through our Amazon affiliates link, you can go to janejack.com/Amazon, all lowercase letter. And if you would like to check out the merchandise in the store, like your Team Science Team Universe mug, you can go to janejack.com/store. A special thank you to some of our patrons who contribute at a certain level, and that would be Joanne with a Plan, Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Rickner, Maggie the Magnificent, and Ed the Creepy Letter Carrier, as we're supposed to call him now. Anyway, on that note, stay tuned for next week, the exciting part 2 to the Real Weird crossover, Alice and Martha Gone Wild. We're all Standies. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
I'm Shandy.
I'm Alice.
And my name is Martha.
Peace out.
See you next week.
Bye.